NV, Respect the Game podcast. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Appreciate you coming into this great discussion we've been having. We're going to go around real quick and introduce everybody. So we start from...
I'm Shalante Clements. Once a coach and athlete.
I'm JJ Foster, the Coastal Carolina
There you go. You speaking in his existence. Hey, yo, I'm E. Fikes. I'm just saying E. Fikes.
That's E. Fikes. And I'm JJ Lee. Yes, I'm Clarence Smith, and I'm from the Alabama A&M University Bulldogs.
Wow.
You know something? They need to be embarrassed about that.
Yes, I'm Coach Ayers, and I'm from the Studi School.
Did you just say Studi?
Studi, oh, he went way back.
You got to understand, you got to know where Studi School is. You know?
Man.
So anyway, we want to get our conversation going on about the realistic of expectation of our youth, you know, for our parents, you know, because, you know, we've been talking about high expectation and where everybody's supposed to be fitting in.
Where you think your kid is versus where they actually
Right.
are.
Where they really are,
so
you know. So we're going to let our basketball coach, Shalante, take this lead.
All right, so what I would say is a lot of parents out there don't really understand, I guess, kind of the difference between AAU and structured basketball, like within the high schools, and they kind of stray away from expectations of they were good on the AAU team, my kid should be starting varsity, and those things might not necessarily align. So, what do you fellas think about that?
Well, first of all, let's go a little farther back,
Okay.
where when we as parents not understanding that what they need their children to be doing.
So for development.
Like starting out by coming to practice every day.
Right.
You know, not I got to get a haircut or I got a birthday party to go to or, you know, you have responsibility. You know, once you leave middle school and you get to high school is a totally different level.
Right.
Which we have coaches on the panel that can elaborate real easily about this because,
right.
you know, seeing it every day. I mean, you know, so that's the major problem, that the expectation of our parents not understanding when you're not allowing your kid to come and be disciplined, being on time, coming to practice and doing the things you're supposed to do to go on that level.
Right. And I want to go in with that, you know, because the expectation has to go with the program and the system in which they are involved in. Just because your dad played in this system and he was good in that system, that doesn't mean the coach. So you can't expect that coach to adhere to, you know, something that happened 30 years ago, and you want that coaching, you know, because the game has changed. All games have changed. Basketball, football, any game you look at it, they have changed, and, you know, they have evolved. So you can't expect that, you know, well, this coach needs to run it like this and think that since you operated that way, that the coach should operate and have your child operating that way. And secondly, do all parents understand the game? And I'm not just saying playing it. I mean, just understand the game, to know what it takes to be able to have their child participate and, you know, be able to start or do whatever or flourish in whatever game that they're playing.
Well, I agree with you. And I would tell any student that's playing the game, any sport, whatever school you go to, make sure they play your style.
Mm-hmm.
So they should be transferred.
Say that again.
They need to play that. Say
The school style or their style?
The player.
The style that you're more comfortable
So,
with.
in other words, if
You got a coach that itching right there. I got to hear it.
well, I'm just me, and I'm being honest.
Okay.
They play the
I want to
style
make sure I heard that right.
Okay, I'm going to break it down. They play the style of basketball that you play. So, say if I have my son play with you,
Okay.
I understand how you play the game, how you coach the game.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, my son would be a good fit for your style, how you play.
Okay.
Versus,
Is it the kid decision though? You coach.
well, I mean, I'm just this
Right.
just when I'm this is just how I
Okay.
feel. Versus, I know JJ coach another style,
Okay.
and it kind of don't.
He might be running gun. He might be slowed down running
Yeah,
offense. Okay.
yeah. So you
Okay.
understand.
Got you. That makes more sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how that school played the game.
Because sometimes you don't have a choice where you go.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes you don't. But if you
Bingo.
have,
Not to cut you off. We talking high school, we talking college. Kids don't have a choice. And
They
just
don't.
what you talking about, you setting the kid up. It ain't about the style. If you put it, I don't care if a coach, this is what we talking about, walking the ball up the floor or whatever, hey, you figure out how to thrive within that system. You're right. Everything ain't going to be ideal.
no, everything
You
is
don't
not
have
going to
that
be
choice
ideal.
unless you going to college.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about on the next level.
But in high schools, that's the problem. But we talk about expectations. Now you putting area expertise on some folks that have no idea. You talking about a style. So now, hey, that ain't my kid's style from somebody who's never played at no kind of level, and now they gonna make a decision on what's best for their kid.
And that's
Right.
how they thinking right
Yeah,
now.
Well, I mean,
That's
you
the-
have to
that's the
understand.
problem.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Parents are the problem.
I mean, you want to throw shades, but as a parent that played the game and I understand how the game is played, but I played many different sports, and I always would say this to every child, every student that plays a sport. Period, hands down, always play more than one sport.
Yeah. But and I'm gonna go
That's
with
just understanding because I was in love with basketball.
Right.
But you wasn't
But
good.
you wouldn't- okay,
No,
so
no,
that's
time
what I'm
out,
saying.
time out.
You
No,
didn't
no.
fit the system. You didn't fit the system.
No, I mean,
the system that
hands
you
down.
played in.
I played ball and
I'm
I
just
and I was a
playing with
dog
you.
at basketball. But the simple fact that once I stepped on the track,
You was better.
I was a different beast.
Yeah.
So you gotta understand, just because you in love with one sport and you're
Yeah.
good at it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't mean it's gonna take you to the
Yeah.
next level.
I agree.
So
I
you
could
have to
agree with that.
understand-
We're gonna bring that up later on in the show.
Yeah.
So
I
hold
should've
on to
played-
that
I
conversation.
should've played tennis because I would have been a great tennis player.
So I mean, it's just.
So
it's just that simple.
can we get back with the,
expectations. Yes.
Because-
Well, I mean, that's an expectation. I mean, of
Yeah.
a student.
Okay, I get that, but let's go with this real quick as far as like, because we're talking about parents thinking that their child should be on varsity,
Yeah.
and
Start.
I take it as funny because, like you said, we're talking about parents who think their kids should be on varsity, should be starting. That's exactly right. That's the low hanging fruit. I look at it completely different because I say this when we talk about expectations. There's some parents that'll say, "Oh, hey, my kid he ain't ready for varsity yet. Just put him at freshman." So
Right.
think about it. That's
Okay.
I look at it again. What are they basing that off of?
Yeah.
Right.
It's their expertise.
Right.
You know, trust the person who's in
doing it.
charge.
Yes,
Trust what they're saying. So when we talk about expectations, you're right. The easy thing is that somebody bring their kid over. Hey, better be starting varsity. He only a freshman. Or hey, this coach, man, he'll know what he's doing. He talking about slow the ball down. Hey, the score is we up 2 with 50 seconds left. He told my son he couldn't shoot. You know.
Right.
That sounds good because that's not talking about a style. That's an
Right.
X and O. That's a strategy.
Right.
Trust that person. If you really want to talk about something, yeah, you're right. Research who that person is that you handing your son to.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Check his background. Check his resume.
Right.
Trust that he has your child's best interest at heart. That's what you do. So right now we got so many people. Just like you said, I'm a parent. I played. Okay, so now where we go? You played at that level. I got somebody over here that played at this level. So what? You know more or less? No. The bottom line, we got guys that haven't played at no level. They play Madden or video
Right.
games,
Right. Right.
stuff on TV.
Right.
And then now they know more than somebody that's coaching the game that's done played at various levels that has been coaching for however many years.
Yes.
So yeah.
Well, see, and I get what you're saying on that one, JJ. But you have these coaches that also think because I played on this level.
That's coaching expectations.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
hold on. Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
You have coaches that say, I've been here. I did this. I did look at my resume.
coach-
That can't coach worth nothing.
But that's
And
But you just said,
have
if they
but you
said,
have to-
if they
no,
said
no,
look
hold
at
on,
their
let me finish.
resume, I'm gonna let you finish. But you said look at their resume. Their resume is state championship, sectional, whatever it is.
It
So
doesn't
you said
matter.
They don't know nothing.
No, it doesn't matter. And you have to understand, and you have to look at it from your standpoint. Not get your standpoint, but you also have to look at it from the other standpoint.
I'm
Because-
not.
What is
I'm
that?
really not following it. So help me understand.
okay,
help me understand.
I'm roping it in.
Because you have coaches that say, okay, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this, but always have a losing season.
So that's the research that you did.
Yeah.
So you
have-
found out that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want to
okay.
see your kid there.
Okay,
Because just because he was.
So
good,
let me ask a quick question real quick. Because their record is not a winning record, do that mean they're not being successful with your kid, teaching your kid how to play basketball?
Once again, let me finish what I was saying.
That's a good question.
I
That's
mean,
a
you
great
sitting there. I mean, just
That's a
like
good
you just
question.
said, hey, my resume. You need to check my resume. Okay, your resume. You winning. You did this. You did that. Hold on. Now you got another coach with the same type of resume, and like, dude, you saying you here on a mental level as a coach. Period. But I don't see the progress that
So-
you said that you're gonna give my child.
You're talking like a parent.
Yeah, and I think that's more the expectation of the parent and not the expectation of the athlete.
Not the
So you have to
athlete.
understand from both ends of the. You want.
No.
No,
You don't want the parents to have the understanding.
Absolutely, you're missing it. I think
No,
you're
you're missing the
Expectation
point.
for the athlete. Is that what
No, you don't want your parents to have an expectation for the coach.
no,
No. You
You ain't
gotta
have expectation for the coach. But
Okay.
I'm missing your point. Everybody
yeah.
else seems. To
I mean,
be,
y'all seem like y'all
clear.
missing, but what I'm saying is, if I have an expectation for my child, and I have an expectation for the coach because of his resume. Right.
off the resume.
You explained the resume.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm looking at it from the standpoint, okay, you said my child is on this level, and I don't see my child. Say my child is a freshman, and JJ say, okay, hey, yeah, man, your son is on varsity. He's, and I'm looking like
That's his choice.
I understand. I'm looking at my son from a standpoint of like, okay, you say he on varsity. Hey, I'm gonna let you do your thing.
You happy now?
Yeah.
I'm happy, but I'm not seeing my son progressing. You see what I'm saying?
So
Well, and
You
so,
go-
So I'm like, okay.
I
JJ,
still
now-
think that's
now
more
I'm
expectation on the
questioning you
parent.
as far as putting my child on varsity because I'm not seeing my child progress.
But you're not at practice with your child, and he's there with your child.
And I get that, but you
And-
telling me my child should be on varsity,
And okay.
and I'm sitting there like, okay, I don't see the progress. I still see.
But to your example, okay, so they put somebody on varsity or kid makes a team, and he's doing bare minimum. You know, he comes, he's going to practice, but he's not getting the extra shooting drills. He's not in there. He's not working hard. He's just there. He happy to be on the team. So again, that's on the coach.
Right.
That's the.
And-
I mean,
and-
I'm just saying if you.
No, what do you know?
But
That,
you
that's
telling
exactly
me my
what-
child
your
is.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you
Your
telling me
child
my
is.
child should be on
But there's
varsity,
something
he's
that talk-
playing,
there's
and
something
you put
called
him
work
on varsity,
ethic.
and it's just like, okay, I'm watching him like, okay, I'm not saying anything because
Is he playing?
yeah, he's playing, but I'm not saying anything because
You're not supposed to say
Whether
anything.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say whether he's playing or not,
I'm sitting there like, okay, I don't see the
Right.
progress that you see in my child because the simple fact is like,
He not putting the work.
So we're gonna move past the individual.
Yes.
And we're gonna move it as a open mic for team wise.
Okay.
You know, like the because I just asked the question about because he has a losing record. That don't mean he's not
I like
making kids progressing
Right.
kids.
To get better?
Ability to be
Right,
better.
right.
You can't win all the games.
I'm not saying you can't
Everybody's
win.
not going to
I'm
win
not
all
saying
the
you
games.
can't win all the games. I'm just saying,
But let's go back to the question.
okay, and then I'm finna answer it.
Okay.
You said, and like I said, as a parent, I'm looking at it as a parent that played on levels, and I'm looking at him like I'm not saying anything, but I don't see the progress.
And
You see what I'm
You're
saying?
looking at wins and losses now.
I'm looking at the whole everything as a
player
whole.
development.
Yeah, player development.
But what if he's teaching him something off the court? Like he's still developing, right?
yeah, and I think
your job is to teach the court on the court or whatever field he's on. That's your job as a coach.
You don't-
I mean, I understand you got other aspects
But again,
that you will.
we're
put
talking
in.
about your opinion.
Yeah.
You said,
Okay,
my kid ain't.
you're
ain't
right.
My,
You're
my,
right.
my kid ain't progressing.
I'm just looking
much
at
as
the
I like.
whole thing as a whole.
We're the man that's coaching. His job is to put the best players on the floor and to help his team. So if he says he's looking at the kid and say, "Hey, don't worry about it," you know, it's funny. I've had parents just like you. Just like you. Hey, coach, my kid, he should be doing X, Y, Z. okay, your kid didn't play in middle school.
Right.
We got him over here. Trust us. Let us bring him along. We're going to get in there.
We're gonna
Because
teach
it's
him.
not to your liking. Again. So we talk, hey.
We working the
let
man.
So
us have
it's
it. We gonna
basically
get it.
what you're saying is you're playing that child to your style of basketball.
You're playing that child. Progress ain't overnight. So you
I'm
talking
not
about
saying
you
overnight.
can't.
I'm not saying
Well, what
overnight.
are you saying after the season
I'm-
over? You
I'm
just said
just
I
looking
can't.
at-
He's
I'm just
playing
looking at
varsity. He not getting it, dude. It can't be both ways. The season ain't but 20-something games.
And I understand that, but so
Players
if,
are made in the off season.
Yeah.
Right.
Players are made
So
in the
what-
off season.
what is he?
I know that. I mean, that's
Okay
one
then.
thing. I
So
understand
you can't
that.
have it both ways. If you know that, then you wouldn't have the conversation that you have.
Hey,
So-
but
so
I mean,
here-
you have parents that think like that.
So
So
you do. You telling us you think like that?
No, I'm not. No, first-
Can I get in? Can I get in?
No,
Can I
okay,
get
no,
in?
no,
Can I
you
get
tell me
in?
I think like that.
Let me get in. Let me get in. Let me get in.
I'm not saying I think like that.
Let me
I'm
get
throwing a
in.
scenario out.
Let me get in. Let me get in. Let me get in.
That's what I would tell a parent. Again, trust where your child is.
Let-
Let that coach. And then you're right. After the season, let's sit back. Let's analyze things. Let's see how evaluate.
Let me get it.
Go ahead.
And because they're high school,
that double-
they were just high school students last year. So I'm gonna give you this.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all know who Asar Thomas is. Thompson, I think that is. He's a twin. Asar, he
hey,
played in
yeah,
Detroit.
let's roll, let's roll.
Now Asar was the scorer. AAU. Asar was the man in the AAU. His expectations was to go to NBA, and I'm only saying this because this is a high school, and I know it's different levels. He didn't go to college. I think they played in the G League or the Ignite League, whatever that light league is that they prep him for the NBA. But he was the scorer. He was the better one than the one that's in Houston. But his game in Detroit, his expectation was to go into Detroit to be the scorer. He's not that man in Detroit. He is now a rebounder and a shot blocker because he had to. And that's where I think you're missing the conversation, E. But
I'm not missing
No,
the
hold on.
I'm playing the devil's advocate.
Because here's what it was.
Doing a great job.
I know the parents and I know everybody when they drafted Asar. Oh, he go. Not knowing they had Cade Cunningham there and they had that other young man there that came out. I think Cade Cunningham played maybe 1 year.
My expectation.
Yeah. So his expectation was to go in and maybe take Cade Cunningham out or be the next man. But he came in and he had to realize that his expectations wasn't what the program expectation was. He had to fit into the program's expectation because his expectation was not going to fulfill the need for that program.
Right. He didn't have a
So once again, we're talking about the expectation of
The athlete.
of the coach,
Okay.
of the parent.
Of the parent, yeah.
So
they're too high.
Someone
we want to talk about letting the coaches do their job,
Right.
and they have expectation of each child that they deal with,
Right.
individually and as a group.
correct.
So they have to form a group of different expectation of kids
Right.
at all times,
Right.
and have to deal with the parents that's coming to them complaining about things that they don't know what they're complaining about.
Right. That is.
So a lot of times, if we're talking about, and we see it all the time, how parents be in the stands talking about how garbage the coach is, how they don't know what they're doing, but they've been doing it for 20, 30 years. And it's not easy coaching grown folks because your
You not
parents,
coaching-
you got to coach parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
That's
alone
true.
with coaching the kids, you got
Yeah.
to coach parents and teach the parents how to
Parents.
understand the game.
They understand the game. I can see that.
Not because they're gonna be the parents they're gonna be.
and honestly, some of them expectations that you're talking about are things that wreck teams as well too. Because if you get a nice cohesive group, you got all the pieces and guys are playing, but you get a parent, hey, you need to be shooting more. Hey, my man ain't the superstar. You should be the superstar.
Yeah.
The teams that have success are the teams where they have buy-in. And that buy-in comes from the players. That buy-in comes from the
parents,
families.
yeah.
Right.
And they sitting up there, kid, hey, you see my son set that screen? Ooh, hey, hey, Billy had 12 rebounds.
Yeah.
They're not worried about just who's scoring.
Right.
And that's one of the things, honestly, that plagues our community. Everybody want to be the superstar.
Right.
It ain't about being the superstar. Somebody, has to stand down,
Right.
do what it takes to win. And then when you're winning, that's where the success comes in at.
Now,
Everybody doing that.
now, with that question, and I'm gonna combine it with players and coaches. Is there too many expectations on win and losses and not developing the game? Because I say that because
I like that.
I mean, a lot of people. That's all they put pressure on the coaches. You need to win. You need to do this. And the wins and losses, and then they don't care about developing the game anymore. They just want, W's and more W's than L's,
Well, that's the problem in our community.
Yeah.
It's all about the wins and losses, because what we have taught in our program is, I don't care about no wins and losses. I care about you developing to be a great ball player, a great student, a great human being. The wins and losses, that's going to be
come.
it's going to be a part of the game.
Everybody want to
So-
play for the winning team too.
Everybody
see,
ain't
you
going
know-
to play for the winning team.
Yeah, and one of the
So you got to learn how to win and lose too.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where I was going right there, because a lot of people don't understand how to lose.
I think walking on there, it's a 50-50
Yeah,
shot.
it is. It's part of the game, but it's how you lose. Because if I lose and don't learn from it, if I put it like this, my team lost to his team. I'm gonna sit back, and I know I gotta play him in 2 weeks. I gotta sit back and say, okay, this is what we did to lose. This is what they did to win. So now I gotta go back to the drawing board and figure it out, and installing my kids. Hey, this is what we did wrong, and this is what they did right. But this is also what we did right in the process of it.
I get that, but
So
my
you got to
question.
learn how to lose, because put it like this: I could lose to you and come back in 2 weeks and beat you by 20.
Yeah, but that wasn't the question I was asking. My question was, what is the value? Is there any more value in developing the game versus that I need to win now or never? I don't think there's any value in developing the game anymore.
Well, we've had this discussion, and we talked about it. I know it's been off camera, but AAU, like I've talked about, AAU is about winning. I'm playing to my strengths. I got to win. There ain't no. I'm not gonna go to my left. When my left is my weakest point. I got coaches watching. Hey, my coach wants to win. So yeah, in that regard, that's why we see when you look at fundamentals. You can look at the NBA level. You got guys as specialists. There's not no fundamentally sound guys, but that's where that comes from. AAU, to your point. So then now you get in the season. Season starts November 6th. You got a game in 2 weeks. So how much development you doing in that time?
Right.
You preparing for a season.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
The development is
off season.
is off, out of season.
correct. The off season. You're right.
Off-season,
when you're doing things with the team. But back in the day, not to always say back in the day, but again, you went to camps. It wouldn't work. To your point, there wasn't wins and losses. It was development. You working. You got your skills and whatnot.
Yeah.
Right.
So now, you got the wins and losses. But we have trainers out there. Certain kids are going to trainers and they're working on things. But not everybody can afford a trainer. Not
Right.
everybody's going to a trainer. So you do see more emphasis on wins and losses. But something I was going to say that you guys didn't touch on, one of the things that I look at is, did we compete? If we lost and we competed and we just lost, hey,
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
Right.
We gave our
Right.
best effort.
Right.
But
That's
if we went out
development.
there, you walked out and you let some guys roll over you, some guys see you playing scared and not doing nothing,
Yeah.
that's a whole nother
We got
issue.
some
Right.
issues.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Another conversation.
Because we could be on that the whole night. As far as like if they gonna compete or if they gonna give up. My thing to everybody is when our parents not understanding that if they want their kid to be at a certain level, that they need to be involved with their kid as far as like at home.
Right.
Because coaches only have them for 2 hours.
Yes.
2 hours a day, 4 days a week, 5 days a week. So when do they get that extra.
I feel like
extra
you
work
also gotta know your child. Like, what is pushing them too far? Like, you don't want to push them to failure. So if you don't know your child and you saying, like you said last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago, JJ, you was like, some parents don't show up until you kick that kid off the team. You go to parent-teacher conferences and you don't see these parents, and then they come around. They don't know that their kids are failing, or they don't know what they're good at. And a kid could be someone that's completely silent in class and be failing in something, but they don't get involved until you kick them off the team. Stuff like that. So the expectations of them on the school level are very low.
And that's another thing, expectation. We're talking about the complete student athlete. What expectation do we put on them to be total people? And when I say that is well-rounded individuals, classroom, socially. Do they do community service anymore? I remember we used to have to go, go to a lower grade level and work out with kids, track, football, basketball, baseball, whatever. Do they still expect them to be well-rounded individuals, or is it just, I need you for this specific purpose and I'm done with you?
Well, some programs it's required to do community service. And there's other programs don't care about community service. They just care about that win.
You care about that season.
We have programs who do not develop their kids to be a whole person.
Yeah.
It's just about basketball or whatever sport.
Whatever
it is.
sport it is, right.
Just use basketball, whatever sport it is. That's what they got their kids for at that particular time. But then there's other ones that, make it be known to the players. You're just not here for basketball. You're here for other things. Mm-hmm. So it's a difference. You have both ways. So I'm not going to put everybody in that same category.
Right.
And it's funny, like you said, let it be known to the players, but sometimes you got to let it be known to the parents as well.
Yeah.
And to Claire, to your point, every program that I've been a part has been a holistic approach. Mm-hmm. I'm about teaching people to become better citizens.
Right.
We're gonna be young men. We're gonna play basketball, but it's life after that. And then even guys that's going off to college, when you apply to different colleges, what are they looking at? Just what you just said, community service. Them grades. You want things that's going to help you you stand out from the next applicant.
Right.
And everybody's gonna get that scholarship.
Right. Total involvement. Yep.
Yeah.
So we and on your point, we know for a fact that when coaches come to recruit, they don't come to recruit the basketball player. They come to recruit the person.
Right.
Because they already know that they could play basketball or whatever sports it is. I gotta
right. You right. The sport.
Whatever sports it is, and a lot of time they're not getting taught how to be that individual. That to be a good citizen. Yeah.
Well, first of all, I think that should start at home. That part, being a good person and being a good citizen, that should also actually start at home. And to be a good citizen, and put it like this: if you put me on your team just because I can play good, and I'm my character is bad, that should inflect on the coach. I'm a bad character.
What age group we talking?
Yeah,
what age group we talking?
Well, I'm talking about high school.
Okay, even there, I got high school.
So if I'm just because I'm a dog on the court or on the field or whatever, and my character is not up to your expectations, but you still put me on your team. That should say a lot about that coach, because all he's looking at is.
I think it's a school. Go ahead.
I'm gonna just hit you with. You put him on your team, and that kid, as you just said, is a problem child. He got issues. Put it on the coach if he allows that to continue.
That's what I'm saying.
But you want that coach to give that kid a break. Somebody got to help that kid. Somebody got to break that, because like you said, it starts at home, but he might not have got it at home. Somebody got to be the one teaching. Right.
But I mean, in what you go back to what you're saying, the coach is trying to put him in the right path. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And he's still not
you only get so many chances, and that's with anything in life.
But I mean, but the coach still was like, oh, he's gonna give me 2015.
Well, it's
And
not
then
it's
on
not
top
as
of-
easy as
see
you're
what I'm saying?
saying.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm gonna tell you, and again, we got a lot of older folks that watch this, and I can tell you right now, that mentality there, it make the hair stand up the back of their head. Just keeping it absolutely 100. I'm gonna tell you, that's gonna be the feedback I get, because you don't know how many years that mentality they did for our kid. Oh, he a bad apple. So therefore they miss out. They just
Right.
You don't get a shot. Give that kid a shot. Give that kid a chance. You don't know what's gonna blossom, what's gonna develop.
I mean, I get that. That's why
You
I
might
was.
change his
That's
life.
why I was asking
Yeah.
the question.
Yeah.
As far as regardless of he's a killer, but he just Mr. can't get right.
You know,
what I'm
I
saying?
love them challenges, my guy.
correct.
I love them challenges for the simple fact, man, is I want to make a difference in that child's life. And not just me, it's a lot of us out there doing that.
Right.
And you can't do 1, 2, 3 strikes.
can't.
It's a process, because like we're saying across the board that we know they not getting it elsewhere. So why would we turn our backs against a person because of things that are going on? It's our responsibility. Hopefully, it's our responsibility is to make a difference in our kids' lives. So I think that's one of the.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, that's a travesty where somebody just, hey, he on the team, and this kid out here raping and pillaging and doing whatever. Yeah, the coach, hey, ain't worried about that, just worried about what they do.
Yeah.
That's a travesty. So understand what we saying.
I get it.
Yeah. No,
I get
I'm
what
just
you're
saying,
saying, but, I mean,
clarifying.
you just have to.
Yeah, because
Like I said,
when
you have
is
to-
enough? That can be another
Yeah.
topic. When do you
is
say
it-
when?
When do you say I
Yeah.
can't do this?
Yeah.
And,
You know what I'm saying?
and we've had some athletes that we saw got break after break, and all they did at each level, and again, it's more to your point where people turn the eye to, hey, we don't want to jeopardize his career. Then they go to the next level, and they get there and do the same thing. We don't want to jeopardize his career. Then they get to the next level.
Yeah.
Then you know where they at. You visit them, putting money on their books.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we
Always
also know this on this conversation. What we're talking about right now is like realistically, if that person is really that good, you're gonna try to keep them on as long as you can. You're not gonna you're gonna turn the eye on some of the things he's doing just because of his greatness.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's just real.
That's a lot of programs.
Issue, though.
Yes.
That's the issue.
But that's realistic.
issue right there.
That's realistic.
That's the issue.
I'm not saying it's not an issue.
You're
I'm
saying
just
that you
saying
would do
that
that as
that's
well.
what goes on, and we know it goes on like that.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'm
like
shocked
I mean,
you out.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's a major issue because, I mean, regardless of how good of coaches or men are in their life, they continue to do this, and this, and be like, when is enough is
I don't
enough.
know, because you're setting them up for failure
Yeah.
too, doing that too. So I agree
Well,
that you got to cut it off.
Yeah, I mean, you said not just setting them up. I mean, it all depends on what it is. Are you putting somebody else in harm's way?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know
but
what I'm
see,
saying? I mean, are they going out?
teammates.
Yeah,
that's
so,
what I'm saying.
there's
got
certain
everybody
things you got to
riled
keep in
up.
perspective.
Correct. And as a leader, you do. You have to. It's like, hey,
Enough is
we talked
enough.
about something this
Yeah.
year, that
Yeah.
came up. But I told him, a young man that was in trouble, and I went to tell him, I was gonna cut him, and he told me he was, his circumstances basically, he had been, involved with the criminal system, and I'm like, I want to throw my arms around him, but then he told me what he did. I couldn't do nothing with that.
Right.
He told me because again, I'm responsible for others, so I'm giving this kid a break. Now to put your kid in harm's way.
Right.
So those are the things you have
You
to
have to
weigh
balance.
and have to,
But that's one of the topics we really need to just really speak on because there's a lot of kids out there that has problems that just need that small tweak and don't know how to get that small tweak. You know what I'm saying?
Well, speaking on that, right now we're having issues in our community. Where we got young people doing things illegally, and there's no expectation to these young people.
Right.
They're doing harmful things in our community, and we need to find some kind of solution or some kind of avenue to help these young people out.
Right.
Because like we keep saying, it's at the home.
Right.
We know it's at the home, but what can we do to help
Straighten it
help
out.
the situation?
You know, with that, and that's one of the things. When do you start gauging the expectation of your young athlete? And I ask
At
this.
an early age.
Well,
Especially, I mean, if put it like this, when they walk through your gym doors, or you,
But hold on, you said who? The parent or the coach? Who you
Yeah,
talking
that's
about?
what
the parent first
Yeah, I
of
was
all.
gonna say, yeah.
The parent first of all, because here's the thing. Sometimes you have a late bloomer. You have late bloomers, and some people don't develop, or or pick up games. They don't do so. The reason I ask, because sometimes we put expectations on our young athletes that's not their expectation, or that's not their want or desire.
Can you give an example?
I know what he's saying. You talk about sometimes. That's generally the case.
That's generally the
Think about it. You said when do they put expectations from the time they're able to hold a ball, whether it's football, or basketball, whatever. Ooh, that's gonna be my little man. It's like somebody mentioned about somebody's because your parent was good.
Right.
Don't mean that kid gonna be good,
Right.
but that's exactly it. Everybody in the family, oh, this gonna be the next
From
such
the
and such and
start.
such and such. It don't work like that. And you saying that, I'll give you. When I first got back to Fort Wayne, I started a little league or something I was in. Some parents came to me and said they wanted to develop their kids. And it goes back to my point where I talked about expectations and them not knowing. There was a kid, he was about 6'3" as a sixth grader. He had got cut from the school team.
right.
And then even his mother said, oh, tell me how gangly he is and he's not very good, this, that, the other. And the guys who had started the league, they wanted to get rid of him. I said, whoa, y'all brought me on to develop. Y'all want to,
That's right.
we looking bigger picture for high school. So, again, they want to get rid of him because he wasn't good now.
Right.
That's what, you go
That's
to
the
middle
problem.
school
That's my
game right
question.
now, you
Yeah.
see people, you will see a kid, he got hair under his arm, mustache. That kid done hit puberty. But he out there killing guys. And everybody tell you how great he is.
Right.
And all I could do is laugh to myself. That kid might not grow by the get to high school.
That's
Right.
it. Yeah.
But that is just it. They think that he's there as a middle schooler. That ain't what it is. The bigger picture, you look, that kid up 6'3", that kid grew to be 6'6", work with that kid. He serviced his high school that he went to.
Right.
Leave it up to them. He's just like we talking about. He would have been a 6'6" guy just walking around Fort Wayne, But no, he actually got to play in high school, went on, got his degree, and is a productive citizen.
And Jay, I think that's the problem with a lot of our programs around here. Their expectation is if you good, you on my team, and if you're not good, I ain't got nothing to do with it. I can't do nothing
They're
with you.
not developing.
So, that's once again the reality, the realistic about our expectation as a coach. Our expectation is from us to make them better people, make them better players, because we strive for that worst kid coming through that door. Because we want to make them the best one that leave out that door. So if you're not thinking like that, you in the wrong business, unless you just want to.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Hand it to him. That's a.
I'm gonna ask you a
They
question,
wanna hand it
JJ.
to him with the best players.
I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask both of y'all a question. I can't ask you. I'm gonna ask. When I was in high school, the theory was to get that child into college.
It still is.
Is that the
free.
theory that you guys still hold? Let's just get them into college. Let's get you to graduate college. You know what I'm saying?
You mean just go to college, not regardless of sport, just go to college.
No, I'm talking about if I was on your
the
team.
sport's going to help him go to college.
Yeah, if you're on my team again, any program I've been a part of, since the head, our goal is what's that second act? Now you say college, if somebody's got the ability, again, go back to the term that we're using, expectations.
Right.
Hey, you can play at the NAIA level. You can play at the D2 level.
Thank you.
Right.
You
Yeah,
might be
that's what
Division
I'm
One.
asking.
Junior college.
There's a variety of levels. If that's what you want to do, some people
Right.
choose. Hey, I'm playing in high school. I'm good. I don't want to play at none of them levels.
Right.
I'm getting my books. They got scholarship money in other areas and avenues.
Yeah.
So I mean, we steer them towards that. Somebody, may have been struggling academically, not very good or good enough to play in college. They're struggling academically. A trade, armed forces, whichever. I mean, no, I'm not pigeonholing the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
that's
I'm
what I'm
saying?
asking.
It's not for everybody.
Is that the goal? I mean, is that the goal for a majority of the coaches? Like what you just said. Okay, you good for NIA,
Right.
are you good for JUCO? You good for D3?
I think again, and you put a lot of weight on coaches.
No,
And
I'm just saying
but I'm just saying a lot of that's going to dictate that kid. His ability.
Yeah,
and
that's
again,
what I'm saying.
with AAU when they play in the summertime, you see them gyms they pack. You got coaches out there. They're watching kids, so they're going for kids getting recruited. They want them to play at Manchester, at St. Francis, at Grace, wherever. They know they're going to get recruited. Now, coach, all he going to do, going to facilitate.
Yeah,
Mike,
that's what I'm
talking to
saying.
I
that
think
coach,
the question is who's telling that kid the reality of where they capable of playing at. Like who's telling you're not that good, you're gonna be.
I think I just said it. If that coach, if you ain't got no letters in the college coach, that's your thing.
Okay.
But you bring up a great point because you got parents that's telling you they
Hey, you supposed to be supposed to be this, you supposed to be that.
And
Yeah.
that's the reality. It's been many of them, and he know I got like a little slick mouth. I have people come up to me, and then I say, who's talking to you? And they look at me like, huh? Because a lot of people
You
think
gotta
just like
ask
you
that
do. They
question.
think a high school coach literally picking up the phone, calling up somebody.
No, I'm just asking.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
I'm just telling you. No, like you said, we're talking to the viewers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that think that. No, you got coaches that, hey, can tell you, I got a kid that really want to play. Hey, Tay really want to play. Hey, I'm gonna call him up. Hey, I got this really good girl. Hey, she been doing everything she's supposed to do. Hey, if you got room, would you like to see her play?
Right.
And they bring her down. So yeah, you help out in that regard. But for the most part, no, colleges they
know who they want.
I know they're coming to see
Yeah.
you. No, I mean I'm gonna ask both of you coaches one more question. We can get out of here.
Well, thank you.
I was about to say he ended the
I
show.
appreciate
Yeah,
that.
one more question. Now, say I understood what you just said. Say I called you and said, "Hey, I see you got little Juju. He's nice. What's his attitude about?" And he's
college coach.
garbage.
College coach call.
Yeah, and his attitude and his work ethic is garbage. What would you tell?
I like that. That's respectable because you know what? That's real life. And I've talked with Mike about that. I'm not ever gonna speak bad about a Fort Wayne kid because again, that's why I'm here. This
Yeah, right.
You.
But again, I'm not gonna speak bad, but I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
Right.
And so what I am gonna say is go back to your statement when you were talking about putting the bad kid or that bad apple on the
Yeah.
team. I'm gonna talk to him and I'm gonna give suggestions like, hey, he kind of rough around the edges. He done did this and other, but it would do him good to get out of Fort Wayne, get out of this element. Maybe get away from his family. A big influence. Get that kid a shot. I think he would thrive. These are conversations that
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I was like, that one child is like, oh, bro.
And I think
You
a
know
lot
what
of
I'm
times, the recruiter, whoever this person may be, already seen this person in action.
They asked him.
And
Sometimes.
sometimes that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Sometimes they already seen them in action, unless they from way far.
Or you get a coach, especially now with transfer portal, they losing kids. Hey, and they out. Hey, we got a spot. I just got a call before the season started this year from my boy in New Orleans. He's at a HBCU, had to commit, backed out in the last minute. Hey, who you got up there for? Way I need a guard. Hey, what's such and such doing?
Yeah.
So therefore, I mean, now they got a spot. They got the buddy to give somebody.
Yeah.
They got a field. So now they're trying to do their homework without actually even seeing the kid and doing all that other stuff. So
Yeah, it's
They get
tough. It's
It's
tough out there. Yeah. Well, listen, I think this was a heated and a great conversation. I really appreciate you guys really being straightforward, straight shooters with the conversation that we was having, and let's continue to give our audience this flavor because
Yes.
I think it's very strong. Continue to watch us. Continue to be a part of our lives. We respect each and every one of you. We respect your opinion. Please give us some comments and some feedback on what you think about the reality of the show. Get us out.
chirp, chirp.
Hey, always respect you.
Oh,
Respect them.
Oh my God.
can you fix that?
Yeah. Always protect your mind.
There we go.
Respect the game on three. 1, 2, 3, respect the game.